Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. In this video, we're going to be considering the study article for this week, July 14th to 20th, 2025. You ready? Let's jump right in. Study article 19. Imitate the faithful angels. The theme text reads, Praise Jehovah, all you his angels. Psalm 103:20. Focus. Lessons we can learn from the example of the faithful angels. Okay, paragraphs 1 and 2 question, how do we differ from the angels? The angels have existed far longer than we have been alive. From our concept or perspective of time, thousands, even millions of years before we exist. They are more powerful than we are, more intelligent, and they're holy and righteous to a degree that we cannot reach as imperfect humans. Okay, some of the differences, and now, question B, what do we have in common with the angels? Like them, we can reflect Jehovah's fine qualities. We have free will, so they have the option to make decisions, and is in the same way. Much like them, we have personal names and distinct personalities as well as various responsibilities. This is a remarkable fact. In the scriptures, we just find two names of two angels, and of course, every one of them has a name. And we have a need to worship our Creator. Paragraph 3. What can we learn from the faithful angels? Many fine lessons, like how we can imitate their humility and their love for people, their endurance, and their efforts to keep the congregation clean. So we can learn very fine lessons from them, the faithful angels. Let's see together the something. The angels are humble. Question A, paragraph 4. How do the angels show humility? Although they're experienced, mighty, and wise, they obey Jehovah's instructions. They respect their own limits, and they obey God's instructions. As they carry out their assignments, they never boast about their deeds or show off their superhuman powers. And they happily do God's will even when not credited by name. Okay, this is truly humility. Now, let's read Psalm 89 verse 7. God is held in awe in the council of holy ones. He is grand and awe-inspiring to all who are around him. So why are the angels humble? Because they love Jehovah and deeply respect him. They refuse to accept any glory that belongs to Jehovah. Paragraph 5. How did one angel show humility when correcting the Apostle Paul, the Apostle John? And we read about this account in the book of Revelation or Apocalypse 19:10. And that loyal spirit creature quickly stepped in, saying, "Be careful, don't do that. I'm only a fellow slave of you and your brothers. Worship God." Okay, that's the statement, and this is very relevant and significant. Why? Because the angel was not interested in glory or admiration. He immediately turned John's attention to Jehovah God. He didn't enjoy just a few seconds of glory or worship. Immediately, he cut it down and say, "Stop, don't do that." At the same time, the angel didn't look down on John. This is relevant. The way he gave this counsel. Although the angel had served Jehovah for much longer and was much more powerful than John, he humbly referred to the apostle as his fellow slave. This is very important. He was a slave like them, like you said. Okay, and even though the angel had to correct John, he didn't scold him or treat the elderly apostle harshly. Okay, the angel showed humility when dealing with John. Very important and significant. Number 6. How can we imitate the angel's humility? When we carry out our assignments without boasting or showing off or trying to take the credit for our accomplishments, that's one way we imitate their humility. We should not feel superior to others if we have served Jehovah longer than they have, or if we have certain privileges, or feel like we're not replaceable. We must be careful with our mentality about ourselves. We want to serve others, we don't want to promote ourselves. Number 7, how can we show humility when we have to correct or counsel someone? And we think about our intention. What's our intention? Help the person or putting him down? Like the angel who corrected John kindly, we can be firm without making the person being counseled feel crushed or feel like he's bad and we're okay, he's wrong and we're right, naturally. If we don't consider ourselves superior, we'll deliver the Bible-based counsel in a respectful and compassionate manner. And that's what Jehovah wants. And of course, the organization also. Now, the next something, the angels love people. Question A, paragraph 8. And let's read now Luke 15, verse 10. In the same way, I tell you, joy arises among the angels of God over one sinner who repents. So according to this, how do the angels demonstrate their love for people? They rejoice when a sinner repents, that is, when a lost sheep returns to Jehovah, or when an individual changes his ways and comes into the truth. Question B. What role do the angels play in the preaching work? The angels are also actively involved in the kingdom preaching work. And we understand that when we read Revelation 14:6, and there is an angel taking the lead in the preaching work, that's why he says, the verse says, and I saw another angel flying in the mid-heaven, and he had everlasting good news to declare to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation and tribe and tongue and people. And fear God, that's the message, and give all the glory to his holy name. Although they don't preach directly to people, they may guide a publisher to someone who wants to learn about Jehovah. So when we share the good news, we can be confident that the angels will be there to support us. And something like this, a couple have just finished public witnessing. On their way home, the sister sees a woman who seems distressed. The sister realizes that the angels can direct us to those who may be searching for spiritual help. She feels moved to speak, and it worked. But who are encouraging the sister to do so? We don't see them, but they are there. How can we imitate the angels' love for people? Paragraph 9. Well, in the congregation, when we hear an announcement that someone has been reinstated, we can rejoice as the angels do. We can go out of our way to welcome the brother back and confirm our love for him. We can also imitate the angels by doing all that we can in the preaching work. We can look for ways to support our brothers and sisters in their ministry. Number 10. What can we learn from Sarah's experience? Some important qualities, like perseverance in the face of difficulties. She didn't give up. She found a new way to keep preaching. Another lesson, adaptability. Despite her physical limitations, she preached by phone, demonstrating that there are always ways to serve Jehovah, even when circumstances change. Trust in Jehovah and the help of others. She relied on Bible reading and the love of her fellow believers to restore her spirit. And she got 70 Bible courses. The angels show endurance. Paragraph 11. How have the faithful angels shown remarkable endurance? If we stop and think for a moment, we find out that they have put up with injustice and wickedness for thousands of years. They saw the adversary and many other spirits or angels, creatures who once served alongside them, rebel against the Almighty, the Creator. Throughout human history, the angels have seen only a small minority of people pursue true worship. Despite all that, these loyal angels continue serving Jehovah with joy and zeal. So that's why we say and we understand they shown remarkable endurance, waiting God's time. Number 12. What can help us to endure? Like the angels, we may witness injustices or face opposition. And that's not something good. But we share their conviction that at the right time, Jehovah will remove all wickedness. So we need patience. And it's easier said than done. So like the faithful angels, we don't give up in doing what is fine. And God promises to help us to endure. We can pray to Jehovah for His Spirit, which produces patience and joy. The angels help keep the congregation clean. Let's read it together. This is Matthew 13, 47 to 49. And we read, "Again, the kingdom of the heavens is like a dragnet let down into the sea and gathering fish of every kind. When it was full, they hauled it up onto the beach, and sitting down, they collected the fine ones into containers, but the unsuitable they threw away. That is how it will be in the conclusion of the system of things. The angels will go out and separate the wicked from among the righteous." So this is the last important, or the last part is very important. They'll separate the wicked from the righteous. What special assignment do angels have during the last days? The angels have been assigned to separate the wicked from among the righteous. Now, this is not happening outside with non-fellow believers. This is been happening inside the congregation. This means that they are assigned to help protect the purity of the congregation itself. This doesn't mean that everyone who stops associating with us for whatever reason can never return, nor does it mean that there will never be problems in the congregation. But we'll see an intense cleanness in the future. 14 and 15. How can we imitate the angels' concern for the spiritual and moral cleanness of the congregation? By doing our part to keep our congregation morally and spiritually clean. And of course, we need to keep a clean conscience, a clean heart, a good and clean conduct, moral and spiritual conduct, clean. To this end, we strive to safeguard our heart by choosing good associates and by rejecting any influence that seeks to corrupt us. If we learn that a fellow believer has committed a serious sin, we would urge our fellow believer to speak with the elders. And it'll be tricky if the involved person is a close friend or a relative. And if he fails to do so, we would let the elders know about the situation. That way, they may help him. What should we do if we learn that a fellow believer has committed a serious sin? Okay, the last one. In what ways will you strive to imitate the angels? Let us imitate their fine qualities, their humility, their love for people, their endurance, and their concern for the moral and spiritual cleanness of the congregation. Okay, now let's recap how good you answer. How can we imitate angels' humility? Carrying out our assignments without boasting or giving the impression that we have special abilities. We should also not think we are superior to others simply because we have served Jehovah longer or because we have certain responsibilities. Remember, privileges, assignments, and responsibilities are temporary. How can we imitate the angels' humility? Oh, this is love. Okay, how can we imitate the angels' love for people? When we hear an announcement that someone has been reinstated, we can rejoice as the angels do. We can go out of our way to welcome the brother back and confirm our love for him. Another way we can also imitate their love by doing all that we can in the preaching work. That includes encouraging someone who is blue or under the weather. And the last one, how can we imitate the angels' efforts to keep the congregation clean? Striving ourselves to be clean, to have a good conduct, a clean conscience, a clean heart ourselves, first of all. And if we learn that a fellow believer, we're not detectives or we're not investigating their private life of our brothers, we focus first of all in our own life. But if we find out that someone has committed a serious sin and we have the evidence, and that's not a big understood, it's real evidence, we would urge our fellow believer to speak with the elders. And if the person fails to do so, we could let them know about the situation. And they be able to give some assistance. Okay, friends, thank you so much for joining us in this consideration. We want to say hello to some dear friends like Eric Stewart, Janet Perez, Joki Muthoni, Onanya, Blogsu, Jennifer Hobbs, Lisa Jacinta, Adri Bale, Franz Bonzo, Benga Falokun, Helen, Lindel Win, Junior Oragon, Someone, Random Person, Gerson de Talo, Gil Rodriguez y Agnes Itua. Okay, friends, thank you so much, and you're the best. And thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful day and hope to see you in our next video. Bye for now.